is an election every day, not every 4 years. It is a constant meeting with the people, like this meeting. The old politicians could never have gathered as many votes as there are people here tonight in support of the revolution. If Mr. Kennedy does not like socialism, well, we do not like imperialism. We do not like capitalism.
Amen.
We have as much right to protest over the existence of an imperialist capitalist regime 90 miles from our coast as he feels the right to protest the existence of a socialist regime 90 miles from his coast. We would not think of protesting over that because that is the business of the people of the United States. It would be absurd for us to try to tell the people of the United States what system of government they must have.
Yeah.
Rights do not come from size. Right does not come from one country being bigger than another. That does not matter. We have only limited territory, a small nation. But our right is as respectable of that of any country, regardless of its size. It is absurd for Mr. Kennedy to tell us what kind of government he wants us to have. It occurs to Mr. Kennedy to do that only because he does not have a clear concept of international law or sovereignty. Who has had those ideas before Kennedy? Hitler and Mussolini.
That's crazy.
We do not endanger the security of a single North American. We making agrarian reform, people's ranches, houses, schools, literary campaigns, building hospitals, sending doctors, giving scholarships, building factories, increasing the productive capacity of our country, creating public beaches, converting schools, and giving the people the right to a better future. We do not endanger a single U.S. family or a single U.S. citizen.
He's basically just trying to get every Cuban to turn against the U.S. so that he can have on their side, but maintain power. But the focus isn't on the fact that he has all the power. He wants the focus to be against Americans.
That dude's a real OG though.
OG Bobby Johnson.
He plays upon something. Guys, listen to this. He plays upon something that everybody wants to connect to. You think about the Miracle on Ice. You think about the speech that Herb Brooks gave right before it, where he said, "I'm sick and tired of hearing how good the Soviets are. Tonight, they're not the best team in the world, we are." The speech he gives here is almost like, let's say, if Liberty tried to go and play Daniel in football.
Dang, we only lost by 2 touchdowns
We'll beat them
in
in
7-on-7.
Or let's say Liberty went and tried to play Clemson in football.
Well, no, we get that tail.
Hey,
We went
hey, we beat Zach Brooks' brother in basketball. What I'm talking about?
Well, we whoop him on that too.
Oh, wow.
He was in there.
We beat Deion Holmes. We beat Deion Holmes. What we talking about?
I'm gonna Sweetie's son in baseball. No, we beat Daniel in baseball.
We beat that Sweetie's son in football.
Here's what I want to talk about, guys. How different is this speech that Castro gives to the Cubans in Havana from the speech that he gives to American journalists, the interview that he gives to American journalists?
Very different.
Why?
He's not afraid to say things to his people.
Ideology. To his people.
We saw.
You mean we speak differently depending on who we're around?
Yeah.
I ain't got no time.
So you mean that if Aaron was around Zach Brooks, he probably wouldn't be
No,
bragging
I
as much about.
probably would not be bragging about beating Von Ray. Probably not.
Why not?
Because,
You
me and
seem-
Zach are tight.
You
like
seem
that.
pretty confident, pretty sure of
You
yourself.
and Jordan Roper are pretty tight.
Oh, hey, Jordan Roper follows me on Instagram. I just want to say that.
I don't know who that is.
You know, Liberty Wrestling,
Oh,
we will
Lord,
come
God.
You
on.
know that Thomas Sanders dude that does all these vines? He follows me on Vine.
We almost goose
Tell
down.
why not?
No,
I have no
Kingston.
idea.
Why wouldn't you say that around Brooks?
Because I wouldn't want Zach Brooks to be mad at me, probably. But no, I'd probably say, I'd be like, yeah, I beat Von Ray. I'd be like, yeah, we beat him 103 to 58.
He wouldn't make a big deal about
I
it.
wouldn't be bragging, but I'd be like, I'd
Screw
say
that
it's
crap,
fact.
I would. I'd be like, he wouldn't go tell.
Alright,
Nah, Brett's gonna be all like that.
keeping this in mind,
Yes, sir.
keeping this in mind, let's look at what happens in the days and years following this in Cuba. Alright?
Wait, what?
I think that dude beat you in wrestling. He did not wrestle.
Not right
No.
Yeah, Jack's one.
now. Alright, first we have the Bay of Pigs.
Oh, we suck. Oh, we really suck.
Good.
We really
I'll
suck.
stick Mansell. Mansell eats a lot.
At a secret base in the Guatemalan jungle, American CIA agents had been training Cuban exiles to invade Cuba. This, they thought, would be the impetus for the Cuban people to rise up and overthrow Castro. The plan was presented to the new president, John F. Kennedy.
Kennedy felt that a plan that he had inherited, under which a band of Cuban exiles were to liberate their own country, was one he could hardly turn his back on. Surely the United States should help get rid of a communist dictatorship in our hemisphere.
The CIA badly misled the new president, promising him an easy victory and an end to the Cuban problem. Kennedy agreed to the invasion, but demanded crucial changes to hide America's involvement. Just 3 days before the planned invasion, Kennedy denied any possibility of American intervention.
There will not be, under any conditions, be an intervention in Cuba by the United States Armed Forces. And this government will do everything it possibly can, and I think it can use its responsibilities to make sure that there are no Americans involved in any actions inside Cuba.
As Kennedy spoke, the invasion force was gathering. An advance wave of American bombers planned to destroy Castro's air force on the ground. The president, worried that this might reveal Washington's role, ordered the operation scaled down. On April the 15th, 1961, just 6 American bombers, disguised in the colors of the Cuban Air Force, took off from Nicaragua for a crucial attack on Cuban airfields. But with so few bombers, only 3 Cuban planes were destroyed. 7 civilians were killed.
Oh my goodness.
As they buried those who had died, Castro, seeking Soviet support, finally declared that the revolution was socialist.
Lo que no pueden perdonarnos los imperialistas es que estemos aquí y que hayamos hecho una revolución socialista en las propias narices de los Estados Unidos.
Continuamos preparando. Resistimos.
We prepared ourselves to resist an invasion against all the forces we knew the Americans had at their disposal.
Estados Unidos.
The following day, just 1,500 exiles, equipped with American arms and ammunition, arrived at the Bay of Pigs, 125 miles to the south of Havana.
Éramos los hombres más felices del mundo.
We were the happiest men in the world because we had the opportunity to return to Cuba, our homeland, to fight to rescue freedom and democracy so that our country could be for all Cubans.
American planes were to protect the invasion force as they hit the beach, but Kennedy, now faced with international condemnation for the initial bombing, cancelled the air support. Castro's remaining air force quickly destroyed the ships carrying vital ammunition supplies. Mistakenly believing that this was a full-scale American invasion, Cuba mobilized all its forces.
Los peores momentos eran los iniciales, The worst moments were at the beginning. We didn't have much information about the enemy. We didn't know if they were 1,000, 3,000 or 10,000. We didn't know what types of weapons they might have. We didn't know if this was a total invasion.
Without American air support or resupply, the invasion force was outnumbered and outgunned. Within 72 hours, the invaders were either captured or dead.
I did not realize that the mission was impossible until the last day, almost at the end. We trusted in our allies. We never thought they would forsake us or abandon us. We didn't think that they could betray the commitment they had with us.
Jack Kennedy was devastated by the fiasco at the Bay of Pigs, and he said it was a fiasco. He was not accustomed to failure in politics or in life, and he was more distraught than I'd ever seen him. How could I have been so stupid, he said.
Alright. John F. Kennedy or Jack Kennedy is remembered as a great president, not necessarily for anything that he accomplished while in office, but because he was assassinated.
Yeah.
Basically. He
Three things he did.
really stepped in it here. The CIA goes out and they find these Cuban refugees who have fled Castro and who really want to go back and they want